Good morning, everyone. Came to bring you a bit of morning cheer. Just getting off the good old plantation place, which I finally referred to as my place of employment. I know it seems as if, I guess if you look at my last little bit of content, I've talked about Monique a bit, the comedian Monique. This week, it was revealed in the press that she has successfully settled her lawsuit with Netflix. Now, currently, she has a rift going on with DL, and I guess for a large amount of the population, the entertainment viewing population, consuming population. She is not on, and not necessarily on their good list. Apparently, the charge against her is that she's picking on a sexual abuse victim, i.e. D.L. Hughley's daughter, and I really found that confounding, well, not necessarily confounding, but illogical, considering that she herself has revealed to herself that she was a sexual abuse victim. Now, I think that this was pretty much a narrative that was picked up in response to, and that's a deflection from the original point of contention, which was a signed contract. When I saw her on stage mention the situation, I guess the situation with DL's daughter, it was more so an attack toward DL due to her perception that he failed to protect the daughter. But that's not necessarily what I'm here for. I guess it kind of is, but I guess it's not really. Now, a lot of people are saying that her antics, or her attitude, or the way that she presents herself to the public, or professionally, it hurts her career. I really had issue with that. I take issue with that, and it's not, and it could be Monique or just about anybody. What Monique did in most of the situations that they're using to criticize her for was pretty much stand up for herself and what she believed to be wrong being done towards her. Now, I remember that when this Netflix lawsuit, when she attempted to file a Netflix lawsuit, there was all types of ridicule and sucking of teeth, because they couldn't believe how dare she ask for what she deems herself worth due to her professional accomplishments. The thing was that she made the point was that if she was a male comedian, that she would be offered more, and that also that considering another artist, another comedian, Miss Amy Schumer, she was offered a certain amount of money, and she doesn't have the resume of Monique, nor in my opinion she's nowhere near as funny as Monique. But all that during that time period, there were all types of contention. They were talking about, well, she used to be fat and she used to hate skinny girls. Now she's skinny and she's not talking about fat girls no more. And then it was like, well, how dare she ask for this when when she's Monique. I guess for the most part they were saying, but they didn't look to the fact that it would be fair for her to ask these things because of her accomplishments. Number one, why would they offer an Oscar winner less money than a non-Oscar winner comedian, and also a comedian who has also had far more length of a professional service, if that's what you want to call it, performances, professional performances, than this comedian that was offered considerably more money than she was. So doing this thing with DL, they bring up they before this week, they brought up this as part of the reason why she fell out with Netflix, and they also brought up she fell out with Lee Daniels, but they failed to realize that even when they were bringing that up, that her and Lee Daniels had squashed their dispute, and Lee Daniels had apologized to her and saying that he was sorry for what he had done to her. And not only that, Lee Daniels signed her up to do his film due to the fact that Octavia Spencer was unable to do the movie that he was doing, so he chose Monique to be in a movie on none other than Netflix. But yet still, that wasn't enough. So they went off, and so now they had the point that she attacked DL's daughter, which, that I guess even if she said that wasn't her intention, I think she has said that it's not her intention. That wasn't her intention. They still play it like that. That's irrelevant. We're still going to ride against her for that. She even offered to have a discussion with, because the oldest daughter called her to the square and, talk, I guess, on some, she couldn't do it so much, but the perception is that she would be willing to confront Monique, and I don't know what that confrontation would entail. Maybe it might. I don't know whether she would square up Monique. Monique might be pretty good with the hands, and consider she works out consistently, she might very well put the daughter on her ass. And this is the eldest daughter, not the daughter that made the accusations of sexual assault. Monique also said, well, I'd be willing to go. Your father has a huge platform, and we can get this all out in the open. And that's when DL came on, and he gave his speech, his victimized speech, like he was just so oppressed by Monique and her words, and this is a comedian who has spent a whole career playing the dozens as his stick. So I only talk about this morning. I was going to talk about this earlier this week, but I only talk about this morning because even when I posted on my social media that she had settled this dispute, there were still those who had negative things to say, saying that she's ruining her career and this, that, and the third. And I always like to rebuttal that Monique has not stopped working. She didn't stop working during the situation where there was the Netflix lawsuit, and not only that, she has about 3 movies that are in production. My thing about it is, I feel as if, not that I'm some sort of uber feminist. I feel as if that Monique was given a bad rap. And it's not necessarily, she could be a woman or a man or whatever, but I guess this affects women differently as professed by women. She should have the right to stand up for herself if she feels wrong. And I don't understand what it is with some of our people, which, I guess, and I'm speaking of the African American, the black, the Negro, or the nigger folk like myself, where other people like us are co-African American, black, Negroes, and niggas. We have a problem with we were acting like we had a problem with her opening her mouth and standing up for herself. And she actually produced evidence, just like she produced evidence in regards to the Netflix situation, you know, that they had came to her and wanted to do a deal with her, and you know, they cut off the deal all of a sudden or whatever. But she had also bought the evidence in the DL situation where she had a contract, a signed contract. Whereas DL produced a deal memo, and as far as I know, he has not as of yet produced a signed contract. But they would have the world, or whatever media, and the thing that kills me also is that the so-called black media, which we all know that most of the popular black media is not owned by black people. The thing about it is that media. And it wasn't so much the mainstream media that they were the ones that were doing the most attacking of her, as if she had undermined her place. My thing about it is that, you know, matter of fact, I think she had a show on the 18th. My thing about it is that. When you make these accusations against her, when you make these criticisms against her, and when it comes out that these criticisms that you might have had toward her are somewhat unfounded, why is it that, you know, instead of, you know, just having the humbleness and the honesty to admit that, you know, okay, maybe I might have perceived this wrong, maybe I might have carried this wrong, and this is my long way of going about saying, and I guess using Monique as a proxy to say in regards to how so many, I mean, I can't just put it all on us black folks, how so many of us go out here and fail. Will make improper decisions and choices and run off at our mouths at certain things, and we find out when we end up eating crow or being proven, you know, or being proven dreadfully wrong, we don't necessarily come out and apologize or say that we were wrong or try to do a mea culpa. We either play silent or we just still stand in our wrongness, or we rationalize the fact that the thing that we thought was one way is actually the other way. You rationalize some wild or irrelevant reason why things went the way they went, as opposed to what would be most obvious, which is that, you know, maybe that thing that we thought was one way was actually the other way, and that we stood on the wrong side of the fence, and we fought on the wrong. We fought as representatives on the wrong side of the battle. But I just really wanted to come on and chat on that a little taste. I hope I didn't, you know, I am a bit tired. I just did a 12. But I can also come on and say I really do appreciate all the people who have recently joined my YouTube. I read the comments, the handful of comments. I really am grateful of those who have taken the time to comment, and even though, and definitely those who click a like. I haven't seen that many shares, but nevertheless, regardless, I view those comments. I view the motivation and the accolades, and I also view the criticism. And I mean, you know, and it depends on how the criticism is presented to me. I do take that criticism to heart, and I do try to make changes in regards to it. But again, I just want to say thank you for that, and I also want to thank you all for sitting through my words on the good sister girl Monique, because it's just something in my spirit, man. You know that in my mind, people look at her like she's some sort of villain, but I look at her as a fine representation of a black woman who is not afraid to assert herself. I think some of us black males, and even on to some of us black women, we have a problem with a black woman asserting herself in a certain way. You know, I guess we feel as if that's that. You know, so many of us women, I say us women, so many women fall under the trope of angry black woman just for merely standing up and speaking for themselves, and that's kind of wrong, man. But nevertheless, man. Thank you all for tapping in with me. You know, Team Monique, and you know, I wish her well in all her upcoming professional endeavors, and I hope that others might look beyond even this message I've given. You know, it imbibe upon this message that I gave you, but also pick apart. Hope you're able to see underneath the underlying layers of what I mean when I'm saying that accountability isn't, it's a very broad thing, and even in one of the most challenging, and even if it's the most effortless thing to do, is to take accountability of when you're wrong. And I think at this point, even though, like I say, D.L. Hughley still hasn't revealed a kind of in this new dispute with Monique, D.L. Hughley still hasn't presented a contract that said he was a headliner for the show. We've gone all the way around the world, and Monique's getting kicked down in the media, or in the black media, and then we go back to okay, well, before it was all about the Netflix thing. How dare she sue Netflix? Who does she think she is? How dare she tell us to boycott Netflix? We got Netflix on our phones, and we may have someone else's password, but we watch the Netflix. I don't watch Netflix. I don't have Netflix. I really don't watch that much TV. And then it goes all the way back even further before the Netflix thing to, her dispute with Oprah Winfrey, Lee Daniels, and Steve Harvey, and Tyler Perry. But then, Lee Daniels, who she had the dispute with, comes out and says, well, I did you wrong, because hell, that dispute was only about the fact, well, I don't want to go and travel and promote a movie. It was not in my contract. So you got all these people. She got all these tick marks where where she stood up for herself and was proven to be justified. Yet still, we still have folks that just don't want to let her be as great as she is. I try to avoid, like I said, cheering for these idols and icons and things like that. But in my mind, I look at this as if it's bigger than just a personality. I think it's more of a principle. So with that being said, you all have a great day. I guess I'll go in here and I'll make me a little breakfast and give me a little rest, because I have one more 12-hour shift to do. Please continue to come and check me out. Do all those things that you would do on your current favorite YouTube channel. I'm not gonna beg you. I'm not gonna beg y'all to do nothing. Over here, I'm not gonna beg y'all to tap no buttons or click nothing. If you like it, fuck with it. And if you don't, then that's fine too. But yeah, peace and love. Y'all have a nice day. This is going to be a beautiful day in the city. Make the best out of it. Peace and love.